The year is 2007. The world's best paragliders gather in Manilla, Australia. They're here for the World Paragliding Championships. The energy is electric. Among them is Ewa Wiśnierska, a skilled and determined competitor.
I'm no stranger to the skies. I'm a seasoned paraglider with a passion for adventure.
The championships are the culmination of years of training and dedication, but before the main event, there's a crucial task at hand, a cross-country training flight. Over 200 paragliders take to the skies. Their colourful canopies dot the vast expanse above Manilla. The sun is shining, a gentle breeze whispers through the air. It's a perfect day for flying.
I take a deep breath, feeling the familiar rush of adrenaline as I launch myself into the air. I soar effortlessly, enjoying the stunning views of the Australian landscape below.
Little does she know, this idyllic scene is about to change dramatically. As Ewa glides through the air, she notices something ominous in the distance. Towering storm clouds begin to gather on the horizon, casting an eerie shadow over the previously sunny landscape. The air, once calm and predictable, starts to shift. The wind picks up, becoming increasingly erratic. A sense of unease creeps in, a primal instinct warning of the impending danger.
Despite the changing conditions, I remain focused. I've experienced challenging weather before. I trust my skills and my equipment. I decide to steer clear of the storm, aiming for a course that will lead me away from its path.
But the storm, like a predator sensing its prey, begins to grow with alarming speed. It's as if it has a mind of its own, a relentless force determined to engulf everything in its path. Ewa struggles to maintain control as the wind intensifies. Her colourful paraglider, once a symbol of freedom and grace, is now at the mercy of the turbulent air currents. The storm is closing in faster than she anticipated. She tries to descend, pulling the lines that control her paraglider, but her efforts are futile. An invisible force, a powerful updraft generated by the storm, seizes her, pulling her higher and higher.
Fear starts to claw at the edges of my composure. I've never experienced anything like this before. The ground, once a reassuring presence below, shrinks rapidly as I'm lifted skyward. I'm caught in a monstrous game of tug-of-war, my skills and experience seemingly insignificant against the raw power of nature.
The storm has become a relentless adversary, and she's trapped in its deadly grip. The air around her transforms into a chaotic maelstrom. Rain, heavy and relentless, lashes down, blurring her vision. The wind howls like a banshee, buffeting her body. Then the hail begins. Small, icy missiles bombard her, stinging her exposed skin. The paraglider, battered by the elements, strains to stay aloft.
I cling to the control lines, my knuckles white, my heart pounding in my chest.
Up and up she's pulled like a leaf caught in a tornado. The world below disappears as she's swallowed whole by the storm cloud. Darkness descends, thick and suffocating. The air inside the cloud is a terrifying mix of turbulence and static electricity. Lightning flashes around her, each bolt a searing white vein against the inky black. Fear threatens to consume her, but she clings to the hope of survival.
I'm caught in the storm. I'm at 16,000 feet and still climbing.
She's surrounded by the deafening roar of the storm, a cacophony of wind, thunder, and the clatter of hail. She tries to radio her team on the ground, her voice barely audible above the maelstrom. Her words are swallowed by the static, lost in the storm's fury. A wave of despair washes over her. Is her message getting through? The paraglider is tossed about like a rag doll, the fabric groaning under the strain. Cold seeps through her clothes, chilling her to the bone. The air grows thin, the lack of oxygen making her feel lightheaded. She fights to maintain consciousness, knowing that succumbing could be fatal, but the storm is relentless, its power absolute. Her vision blurs, her grip on the control lines weakens, and then everything goes black. Ewa is trapped. The storm's fury engulfs her. Blackness surrounds her, thick and disorienting. The storm rages, a symphony of chaos. She's tossed about like a leaf in a hurricane. Up and up she's carried, a helpless passenger in a deadly elevator. Her stomach churns. Fear threatens to overwhelm her. The air grows colder, biting at any exposed skin. Her light jacket offers little protection against the elements. Ice crystals form on her eyelashes. She fights to maintain control of the paraglider. Every instinct screams at her to escape, to get out of this swirling abyss. But there's nowhere to go. The storm has her. Unseen forces pull her higher. 18,000 feet, 20,000 feet, 25,000 feet. Higher than she's ever flown before, higher than she ever imagined possible. The air thins. Breathing becomes a conscious effort. Each gulp of air is a victory against the suffocating grip of the storm. The cold seeps into her bones. Hypothermia threatens. She shivers uncontrollably. Her muscles ache with the effort of holding on, of fighting the relentless forces that buffet her. Lightning flashes. Each bolt illuminates the terrifying vastness of the storm cloud, a monstrous, churning beast that has swallowed her whole. Time loses all meaning. Minutes stretch into an eternity. Exhaustion sets in, a heavy weight dragging at her eyelids.
I know I can't give in. To fall asleep now would be fatal.
The lack of oxygen fogs her thoughts. Her vision blurs. The roar of the storm seems distant, muffled, as if coming from another world.
I try to focus on my training, on the techniques I know could save me, but my mind drifts. Images of my family, my loved ones, flash before my eyes. Is this the end?
Her grip on consciousness slips further. The darkness beckons, promising oblivion, and then she blacks out. Silence. A profound, unsettling silence engulfs Ewa. The storm, once a cacophony of fury, is gone. No more wind, no more hail, no more blinding flashes of lightning.
I'm suspended in a void, a strange, peaceful limbo. My body, still strapped to the paraglider, drifts weightlessly.
The storm has become her cradle, rocking her gently in its icy embrace. Time has lost all meaning. How long has she been unconscious? Minutes, hours, it no longer matters.
Here, in this silent abyss, the outside world ceases to exist. The cold, once a piercing threat, now numbs. It seeps into my core, slowing my heartbeat, stealing my breath.
The storm has lulled her into a dangerous embrace, a frozen sleep from which she may never wake. A flicker of awareness, a distant beacon cutting through the fog of unconsciousness. Ewa's mind stirs, struggling to break free from the grip of the cold.
My eyelids feel heavy, frozen shut. I try to move, but my limbs are leaden, unresponsive. The only sensation is the gentle rocking motion, the eerie silence that surrounds me.
The pulsing light grows stronger, pulling her back from the brink. Her eyelids fight against the weight of ice, slowly prying themselves open. A blurry world emerges, a swirling canvas of grey and white.
Where am I? What happened?
The questions tumble through her mind, disjointed and fragmented. Memories come in flashes, vivid and terrifying. The storm, the ascent, the overwhelming fear. Section 3. The chilling reality.
As my vision clears, the horrifying reality of my situation crashes down upon me. I'm still inside the storm cloud, now a swirling vortex of snow and ice. The paraglider, weighed down by frozen water and hail, struggles to stay aloft. Panic surges through me, a primal scream trapped in my throat. I try to draw a breath, but the thin air offers little sustenance. My lungs burn with the effort, my chest tightens.
She glances at her wrist, expecting to see the familiar face of her watch, but it's gone, ripped away at some point during her terrifying ordeal. Time, already a fluid concept, has ceased to exist. She's lost, alone, trapped in a frozen nightmare. The silence that surrounds her is no longer peaceful, but a chilling reminder of her isolation, of the vast indifference of the storm. Section 4. A Promise to Live.
A wave of despair threatens to engulf me, but I force it down. I refuse to give in to panic, to accept defeat. I have too much to live for. I think of my family, their faces a beacon of warmth in the freezing cold. I remember the joy of flight, the freedom of soaring above the world. These memories, these reasons to fight, ignite a spark of hope within me.
She closes her eyes, takes a deep breath, and makes a promise to herself. She will not die here. She will survive this storm. She will see her loved ones again. With renewed determination, she focuses on the task at hand. She needs to regain control of the paraglider, find a way out of this frozen hell. Her survival depends on it. Section 1. A Perilous Descent.
I know I have to descend. Every second at this altitude is a gamble with my life. The thin air offers little oxygen, the biting cold saps my strength, but descending through a raging storm is a perilous act. My paraglider, laden with ice, is sluggish, unresponsive. The controls feel stiff in my frozen hands. One wrong move could send me spiraling out of control, a terrifying plunge towards the unseen ground.
She eases the controls gently, testing the paraglider's response. The descent begins, slow at first, then gradually gaining speed. The wind buffets her, a constant reminder of the storm's lingering presence. She risks a glance at her variometer, the instrument that indicates her rate of descent. It's frozen, useless, she's flying blind, relying solely on instinct and her dwindling reserves of strength.
Down, down I go, through the heart of the storm. The world is a maelstrom of swirling snow and ice, the ground still hidden from view. Disorientation grips me. Every sense screams at me to escape, to break free from this blinding, suffocating whiteness. I lose track of time. Minutes melt into an endless present, marked only by the howling wind, the bone-jarring turbulence, the ever-present fear that claws at the edges of my mind.
She fights to maintain control, her body aching, her vision blurred. The paraglider, a heavy, ice-laden beast, fights against her every command. She knows that one mistake, one moment of lost concentration could be her last. But amidst the fear, a glimmer of hope flickers. The air seems to be getting slightly warmer, the turbulence less violent. Could she be descending below the storm's most intense layer? And then a miracle. A break in the clouds. A sliver of blue sky peeks through the swirling grey, a beacon of hope in the heart of the storm. Sunlight, pale but brilliant, pierces the gloom, casting long shadows across the cloudscape. For the first time in what feels like an eternity, Ewa sees the ground.
It's still a long way down, a dizzying drop to the earth below. But the sight of it, familiar and welcoming, fills me with a surge of determination. I'm not out of danger yet, but I can see the path to survival.
She steers the paraglider towards the break in the clouds, towards the promise of sunlight and solid ground. With each passing moment, the world brightens, the storm's grip loosens. Ewa emerges from the storm battered but not broken. The ground rushes towards her, a welcome sight after the disorienting chaos of the clouds. Below, a patchwork of green field stretches out, promising safety.
I steer the paraglider towards a clearing, my eyes scanning for any potential hazards. The wind, though still strong, is no longer the raging beast it was within the storm.
With practiced precision, she guides the paraglider down, her movements a testament to years of training and instinct. The landing is rough, the heavy ice-laden canopy resisting her efforts, but she's down, she's alive.
I release myself from the harness, my frozen fingers fumbling with the buckles. As I stumble free, the full impact of the ordeal hits me. My body trembles uncontrollably, a mixture of exhaustion and adrenaline coursing through my veins.
She looks around, taking in the familiar sights of the Australian countryside. Cows graze peacefully in a nearby field, oblivious to the drama that just unfolded above them. Their presence brings a strange sense of comfort, a reminder of the normalcy she so desperately craves. Ewa tries to stand, but her legs buckle beneath her. She collapses onto the damp grass, her body racked with shivers. The cold, once numbed by adrenaline, now bites with a vengeance. She knows she needs to get warm to find help, but her equipment is frozen solid, her movements sluggish and uncoordinated. Even removing her helmet feels like an impossible task.
I examine my hands, the skin a sickly white, tinged with purple. Frostbite, a chilling reminder of the extreme conditions I endured within the storm. Panic threatens to resurface, but I push it down. I need to stay focused.
She remembers her phone tucked safely away in a waterproof pouch. It's her lifeline, her only connection to the world outside the storm's icy grip.
With numb fingers, I manage to retrieve the phone. The screen flickers to life, a welcome sight. I dial my team leader's number, praying for a signal.
Ewa, is that you? Where are you?
Relief floods through her, warm and overwhelming. She's found. She's going to be okay.